Hey, Steeler Nation, welcome back to the SteelerWadeShow. It is Sundays when I'm recording this, and hope you're all enjoying these games or have enjoyed them. You might probably be seeing this after these games. It's about halftime, I think 20 seconds out. I haven't been catching the first game of the AFC. It was like 14-7 Chiefs. I really don't care about this. You know, I haven't been able to. I haven't watched it because I've had this honeydew list. For my wife, I had installed this overhead microwave and this gate thing and just love stuff, marriage stuff. Please press like if you would. And so halftime's probably over by now, and that game will be going on. The one thing that I'm like, I cannot. I just don't want to look at it. To be honest with you, like as far as teams that I dislike. Now I know there's a lot of weird stuff out there. Follow me on X, SteelerWadeShow, where you see people talking about how it's right to root for this person or don't root for this one, and just hate who you want to hate and kind of like who you kind of like, however you do your deal. But for me, like for my, spewing forth my hatred, you have Cincinnati, uh, Kansas City, and then Baltimore. That's where I'm at, you know. Um, Cincinnati, Kansas City, New England, Baltimore. And I like to laugh at the Cowgirls a lot. But so the thing about with that game is that obviously it's a quarterback showdown. Lamar is done. I do give him credit because I was thinking like, this is gonna be chances it could flop with the new OC and the new design and trying to, and then he's up on the pressure of his new contract. And I mean, you have got to, I will give credit where credit is due. Um, and I mean, it's for him to do that, good for him. I'm not going to root, I'm not rooting for the Bengals. I'm not rooting for either one. Uh, Patrick Mahomes, you know, uh, I hate, I don't like it, at all. But I despise Kansas City teams. I despise Cincinnati teams. But I just, but I would like to see, arguably, you could say that these are the number one and number two defenses out there. No matter what, you have to say the top five. But you could say Baltimore is one, and KC is two. I'm sure people could argue that. And that's what I want to see. I'm probably catch the tail end of the game, but I'm hoping that the game turned out to be something where the defenses were able to make both quarterbacks look bad because I'm petty. So, a little off topic here. Did anybody catch the Royal Rumble last night? That was kind of fun. Got to watch that with my bride and family. So that was a good time. I think the women's Royal Rumble was really good. All those costumes, and then the 3-on-1 for the championship, and then that Paul guy. Those were really good with the KO guy. I don't follow it, but the men's Royal Rumble was. I mean, it was not good. There was like a point where like two guys like seemed like they jumped out of the ring, and then like we're like, look, my wife and I were looking at each other like, did they just like jump out? And then like bam, then the third guy did. It was like, what is going on here? So, but the other three shows were awesome. They were awesome. If you got to watch it, what were your thoughts about that? A little side note. Lions and 49ers, man, I got to give a shout out. Oh, before that, I have to give a shout out because I used to watch a lot of wrestling when I was younger with my nephew, and I want to give a shout out to his two kids, my great niece and great nephew, Joey and Maddie. I love you very much. She thinks her uncle's on TV, and I think that's pretty cool. So, the 49ers game, um, of course, I'm pulling for the Lions. I don't even want obviously, I do not want San Francisco to be sniffing another trophy. I want to protect my six a little. But that has nothing to do with, like I don't know anything about the team necessarily, but I am a fan kind of the Lions. And I cannot believe this, but my brother is going to be at the game. This guy was born in Detroit, adopted, always was a Lions fan, and now he actually lives over there close to the middle of, the Bay Area. That's where he works and stuff, and it's going to be there, and he is going with a friend, leaving his wife at home, which my wife is just still pickly about. But so we're looking forward to this game a lot. I don't know if Purdy's going to pull it off. Like I really like Cam Sutton being over there, but like he is not like a cornerback that can just shut off. They have so many weapons on 49ers. And oh, you like my hard hat? I think what I'm going to do is on the weekends, I'll bring home my hard hat from work. And if I do a show, then I'll wear it. It'll be like my weekend deal, little thing. But like, they have so many weapons. I just don't know if they're going to like pick them apart. But I'm sure, I don't even know what the over-under, I would imagine 49ers are favored by a few, more than a few, I guess. But it's got to be a little taller than that, even more than a few, probably 7, 6, 4, I don't know. But we'll be rooting for them. And I guess as far as Steeler things goes that I've seen, the Jarrod Johnson, all the people seem to be really impressed with him, and it seems like it's still cold. I'm doing too much of the rubbing, not too much rubbing. And, it's really easy to, like with that Zach guy, even though there might be a chance he might follow that Morris guy, I think a lot of Steeler fans are just really liking the idea that these younger guys are being, we're interested in them, and just seeing what's out there, I think a lot of Steeler Nation is liking this. And he's another example of this. And the Texans, in my memory, which is not very good, but my memory tells me that nobody really expected Texans to do much this season. And for them to even get a playoff, I know they're in a bad division, but still, you have to keep winning games to get there. You have to keep winning games, And I think they were our second loss. And we were like, what the? No, I don't know if it was our second. I think it might have been our second loss. But Steeler Nation was like, oh my gosh, this is almost as bad as the 49ers loss. Maybe this is, they were looking good. And they just kept on going from that point. I think they may even have maybe went 1-1, 1-1, or maybe 0-2 before they played us. I'm not sure. But it's exciting with this. We're looking at these younger players, and but that offense. What I'm talking about is that offense did some really nice things. They were able to cut up the defenses that they played in different ways. Middle, short, deep, corners. They were good. They were good. They're like chippy. Like, what I mean? If that makes sense. They're a chippy team on both sides of the ball. So if Johnson was involved in this much, that's what they're going to find out. I did, and we're going to end up after tonight. After these games that happen, we're going to end up hearing about more inquiries. Well, more than likely, somebody has to be interesting on two of these losing teams. So it's going to be another cool couple weeks to look forward to. I guess that's just about it. Folks, please press like if you would. And if you'd like to be reminded that you liked something before, press subscribe. And I will say this. I did find out a good breakdown on JJ McCarthy, for any of you Michigan people out there or quarterback draft people. It's done by Derek. And there's some other things, I'm going to just drop, I'm going to start just dropping little things at the bottom of my shows. A lot of links to things that I come across or funny stuff. But follow me on X, SteelerWadeShow. And folks, have a great new week. I hope your team won, whoever you wanted to win. So